Some days you get the bear. Some days the bear gets you. Stand by. Hey everybody, welcome back to RATTLECAN FAB Shop. I'm James, and this week in school, Monday evening on Open Lab, I came in and I finished my 2 lathe pieces. That is a pin and a nut, and those are to go inside of our grinding vise, which we are furiously trying to get parts done because we still have to send them to heat treat within undetermined amount of time that it takes to get it back to us so that we can then finish grinding it. Tuesday morning, welding and metal fab 2. We did a all-around fillet weld on a piece of 1-inch square tube, and then just for fun, we stuck it in a vise and put a bar in there and tried to twist it apart. And as far as I know, everybody passed, so that's cool. We also worked on the we call it an airtight tank. This is 3/16 welding coupons, and you weld together a square box, drill a hole in it. We got a fitting on it, pressurize it with 100 psi, and for every location that has a leak, you lose 10 points. And I had one spot at a restart that had the teeny tiniest leak onto it, so got a 90 on that. I guess just had to live with it. Then Tuesday evening, manual machining lab, drinking out of a fire hose with ProtoTrack, 2-axis ProtoTrack. We have to put these 2 channels in the side of this workpiece, flip it over, put 2 more channels in the other side of this workpiece, hollow the bottom one out, sink 7 holes in it, and then hog out a channel in the middle for that hex-headed cap screw to go into. ProtoTrack's easy if you've been to the class, which I haven't. It's okay. Wednesday afternoon, math test. Didn't do good. Didn't do good at all. It's fairly embarrassing. I've heard the term test anxiety bandied about a couple of times in my presence, referring to me specifically. And we just called it vapor lock growing up. I can discuss the material at length and moderately okay, but when it comes to test, you just kind of bind up. It's not a cumulative final exam, so we start trig this week, and we'll just have to go with that. Then Wednesday evening, mechanical drafting and CAD. We're learning about offsets. We're learning about borders and text blocks and that kind of stuff. The nice thing about that is you get an educational license and can download it on your computadora at home and work on it when you got time. Thursday evening, we're at machining lab again. Now we're starting to grind. We're starting out with a fresh new wheel, which is an education in and of itself. Getting that up, getting it trued up, and then I did one pass on trying to get that crust off of the outside of my piece, because my piece moved. Not much, but it moved a little bit. So now you've made this angry by sending it to heat treat, and now it's encased in a box, and so you have to take that crust off of there and then kind of see, is it gonna move again? And lo and behold, mine moved again, just a little bit, but enough to go from barely in spec to not in spec. So we were able to come back on Friday morning during Open Lab and work on it again, trying to get that closer, trying to get that within that super tight spec that we have. Learned a part on my positioning that could have caused me to be off a couple tenths, and then when you rotate it, you kind of stack error that, and things start to compound. So I also learned that a freshly milled 90-degree corner is really sharp, so be careful. And then I went to using a little different type of a setup to getting things going and trying to get these two, the two large faces of this mill perpendicular to each other, because that's really where you get dinged the biggest. You know, if it's you have a fairly wide tolerance for your dimensions, but as far as parallel and perpendicular, you know, you live and die on that, at least in the class, and my assumption would be in the real world as well. Anyways, that's what I did this week at school. If you got any questions, put them in the comment section beneath the sermon notes. If you're interested in any of this stuff that we're doing, check with your local community college. Many of them have an adult education program. Sometimes you will have a 4-year college or a 2-year college that will run an adult education program through your local career technical center, your high school trade center, where you can come in and do an intro to machining or an intro to welding to get you interested. You know, can I do this? Is this something that I want to do? And you know, it's a lot cheaper, you know, taking a single class like that, you know, for $300 than trying to get invested in a degree or a certificate program and then find out halfway through that you don't really like doing this. Anyways, I'm James. You guys have a great week. If I can do it, you can do it. And we'll work our trig this week. Have a good one. Cheers. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to spend it here with me. Hope you enjoyed this video. Here's one that you might enjoy as well. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to hit that button, hit the bell next to it so that you get a notification when we drop a new video. If you've got comments, put them down beneath the sermon notes. And remember, if I can do it, you can do it. You guys have a great weekend. Cheers.